I'm going to show you how to make this basic inventory saving system. So I have a sword now. I can get a couple more swords. And if I leave the game and come back, as you can see, I still have the swords. I can keep getting swords. So I'll show you how to make this. So before we get started, this is the module we're going to be using, named ProfileStore. It's very, very popular. Like, I'd say it's community standard to use this in practically every major game that you not play, or develop. And in fact, any game that you play probably uses it. It handles autosaving, it handles session locking. I've never had an error using it, or like a corrupt saves or anything. It's perfect. I'd say definitely no basic data stores before you just jump right into this. But after you know data stores, just use this practically every time, honestly. But I'll leave a link to this because we're going to copy this and use it in our script. So to get started, firstly, we need to enable API services. And we do this by going into File, and then Experience Settings, and then Security, and then Enable Studio Access to API Services. Let me switch that on so it's green. I don't think you can see my window when I do that, so I'm going to put a screenshot on screen so you know exactly where it is. Then we're going to need to go to Toolbox and get the ProfileStore module. So you just search out ProfileStore and it will come up, probably be this first one, but just look for ProfileStore by this guy with the excellent reviews. So we have that. I'm going to put this into server script service so the client can't access it or read it. Then we're going to create a script. I'm going to name it server, and we're going to go in and copy and paste the template from that website that I showed previously. And this will have all comments of what everything's doing and have a template of cash. So every time you join, you'll get 100 cash into there. And this is working already. If you started playing your game, this is already saving. When you leave, it auto saves, all of that, which is great. That's how easy ProfileStore is. But of course, we want inventory, so we're going to change the template to inventory. I'm going to change this to store. You don't have to do that. I'm going to remove all the comments because I think they're getting in the way of it. Of course, you can, like I said, you can read them so you know what everything's doing. And I'm going to actually add a logged in counter just so we can see it all happening in action. So instead of cash, every time we log in, we're going to do logged in counter +1. And I'm going to show you this works already. So this would have counted to logged in. I forgot to do the print. So let's print the logged in counter. I'll go back in, and as you can see, we've logged in twice. That will be saved. I'll leave the game and come back. I've logged in 3 times, so that's all working. So we know saving's working. Let's get on to the fun part of the inventory. So, to get rid of that print, we need to create a GUI. So I'll make a time lapse of that because it'll be quite time consuming probably. Okay, so that's the simple inventory GUI created. So all it is the GUI, screen GUI, and then a frame as the holder, and then the item scrolling frame inside of it with a UI list layout with 5 padding on the offset, and the horizontal alignment to center, so it's in the middle of the scroll and not the left or the right. Then a padding to get away from the top, because if I put that to 0, it clips the top. So I'm just offsetting it a little bit from the top. And then the actual template, which I'm going to rename to template. And if I copy and paste, as you can see, it's a list. Inside the template, I just have a stroke to outline it, but that's not necessary. And then just the title as well. So now we have that. We need to go into replicated storage, and we're going to create a remote called update inventory. We're also going to make another one named give item. And then we're going to go to starter player scripts, add a local script, name it inventory client. And basically this script is to update this inventory. So we're going to send events from the server to the client to update the inventory. So first we need the replicated storage. That's where the remotes are. We need the player, the player GUI, the player inventory GUI, the inventory GUI I mean. Let's separate that. Holder. Template is in not that local items. There we go. That's the what we need. So player GUI inventory holder items. Then we need 2 functions. We need the clear function to clear the GUI. We need the update. We need an update function to actually update the inventory GUI. And we're also going to do replicate storage to update GUI connect. I mean on client event connect, and then update function. So update needs the inventory table, or we'll get past an inventory table, and the clear function is just going to clear all the elements in the items thing, items scroll frame. So for this, yeah, that works. So we're going to loop through each child in the items, each of them. If the child is a text button, which our template is, and the child, we're just going to do if child doesn't equal this, the initial template, so it won't delete our initial template. I'm just going to make sure this is not visible. Not visible is false. And if both of these if statements are true, then we're going to delete this element. So it will just completely clear our GUI, so we can add the updated inventory. So we're going to all clear at the start. I'm just going to print inventory for debug purposes, so we can see what we're doing. And yeah, okay, we're going to loop through each item in the inventory table that we're going to get. We're going to make a clone of the template. We're going to set the text to the item because this is a string. So we're going to pass in like sword or apple or shield, and this will make the item that. Make sure it's visible and set the parent to the item scroll frame. And then this will work, but we actually need to fire the client to update it. So on the initial when the player joins, their profile loads, profile loaded, we're gonna update the inventory here. So I already put this in, but it's replicated storage, update inventory, then fire the specific client at once the inventory updated, and then we're going to pass in the inventory table. So profile.data.inventory. Then we need to, or even this will work now. Of course, we have nothing in the inventory. What's this error? Oh, this is nothing I did because I had to go back. So don't worry about that. Go in. We have inventory, but it's empty. So let's fix that. To actually add, say, swords into the inventory, I'm going to just add a part with a proximity prompt. I'm going to anchor it. Proximity prompt. I'm going to put script in there. I'm not going to rename it. There's not much point. We're going to do local part local prompt equals part dot proximity prompt. Then local, oh not local, sorry, prompt dot triggered connect function the player who triggered it, and then we need replicate storage. This game get service replicate storage, and then replicate storage. I'm in replicate storage, the give item event, remote event, we're going to delete and we're going to change it to a bindable event. The difference between the two is the remote event is communication between the server and the client, whereas bindable events is communication between the server and the server. So it's on the same spectrum. We're going to name this again just give item. It's doing the exact same thing, it's just server to server instead of client. So replicate storage dot give item, then we're going to fire because it uses just fire, and bindable events just use fire, not fire server, fire client, because again it's just only on the server, so it's just fire. We're going to give the player that that pressed the prompt specifically, and we're going to give in the name of the item that we want to give. So this could be sword, this could be shield, whatever you want. I'm just going to do sword. In fact, I'll do shield. And this will work, I believe. No, it won't work because I haven't actually added that yet. So in the server script, we're going to add replicate storage dot give item dot event connect function, then with the player and the item that we want to give, that we're passing in from here. So the player and the item, then item. So firstly, we need to get the profile in this profiles table, which is this bit might be confusing if you've never seen type checking, but again, it's just type checking for the profile store. Essentially, it's just this. Profiles is empty table. So we're going to do local profile equals profile player, and if that profile exists, then we're going to insert into our inventory table the item, and then we're going to update the client again for the new inventory. And that is actually everything. That works now. So if I went to here, I press E, it's going to give me a shield, another shield, another shield. I've got 3 shields. If I left the game, and I'm just going to change this proximity prompt to give me a sword instead, so we can see it'll give me swords. The shield's saved, and now it's giving me swords. So there we go. We have a saving inventory, and you could do a lot more. You could do a lot more with this. So these are actually text buttons. I believe I did do that. I think, yeah, they're text buttons. So you could click this. You could hook them up to like an equipped function or a sell button if you had a shop, stuff like that. If you'd like a video like that, then let me know in the comments. And if you could comment if you liked how I did this, or if you'd like me to change how I'm teaching this, or any other video ideas, is highly appreciated.